Welcome to the Explainer. Look, we're diving into something today that can cause a ton of stress in the pharmaceutical world, the FDA audit. But what if we could flip the script? We're going to break down exactly how you can go from a state of fear to one of complete readiness.
So let's just get this out of the way. This quote, it hits home for a lot of people, right? Announcements of inspection are always a nightmare. I mean, the minute that call comes in, your mind just starts racing. You're thinking about 483s, warning letters, maybe even recalls. It's intense. And that feeling, fear, anxiety, panic, you name it, it's totally normal. It's a gut reaction. But here's the thing. What if you didn't have to feel that way? What if you could actually change your state of mind and see an inspection not as this terrifying nightmare, but just as a process you can manage?
All right, Section 1, mindset is key. Now, drawing on some really smart guidance from industry expert Palash Chandra, we're going to make a case that your success actually starts somewhere you probably wouldn't expect. It's not in your binders or your SOPs. It's in your head. It's all about your mindset. And yeah, it might sound a little out there, but trust me, this is the foundation for everything else.
Here's the crucial point. You are in control of your own state of mind. Think about it. An audit? That's just something happening to you. It's an external event. But the stress, the panic, the anxiety, that's all internal. And those are the very things that can cause you to make a mistake. The good news is, you can control them. It's not really about the inspection itself. It's about how you and your team choose to frame it.
And this is so interesting because there's a real physical link between our bodies and our minds. You know this instinctively, right? When someone's feeling down, they might look at the floor, hunch their shoulders. But when someone feels great, they're smiling, they're standing tall, breathing deeply. This isn't just some abstract idea. Making small, conscious changes to your postures can literally change how you feel. And just as important, it changes how you project confidence to an inspector.
And that confidence, that's where effective communication really starts. Look, an inspector isn't just hearing the words you say. They are watching your body language, seeing how you handle the pressure. When you master these 4 skills, engaged listening, nonverbal cues, stress management, and being assertive respectfully, you're playing a whole different game. You're not just answering questions, you're truly understanding them, staying calm, and presenting facts without coming off as defensive.
Okay, so you've got the right mindset. That's awesome. But how do you turn that feeling into a real, concrete plan? Well, that brings us to Section 2, the pre-inspection playbook. This is all about what you do before an inspector ever sets foot in your facility.
Being proactive here is, well, it's everything. It boils down to 3 key things. First, stay informed. You can actually go online and check out recent Form 483s to see what the FDA is focusing on right now. It's like getting a peek at their playbook. Second, define the roles. Who's the point person? Who's the backup for every key position? No scrambling allowed. And third, and this is huge, practice. Run mock inspections. Get your team used to the pressure, so when the real thing happens, it feels a lot more routine.
All right, Section 3, navigating the inspection. The day is finally come. The inspector is in the lobby. Deep breath. All that preparation, it's about to pay off right now.
So the second that inspector walks in, the official process kicks off. They're going to show their credentials, and then they'll present a very important piece of paper, the Form FD 482.
And that form, the FD 482, is basically the starting pistol for the entire inspection. This is why it is absolutely critical that your frontline staff, your receptionist, your security guards, they need to be trained to know exactly what this is and who to call the second they see it. Because believe me, the clock starts ticking now.
Okay, so they're inside. Now what? What are they actually looking for? Getting inside their head and understanding their core purpose is really the key to navigating this whole thing smoothly.
When you boil it all down, they're really there for one main reason: to make sure you're following current good manufacturing practices, CGMP. And that means they're going to look at, well, pretty much everything. Your records, your equipment, how you handle complaints. They're checking to see if your entire system, from top to bottom, is designed to make sure your products are safe and high quality.
You know, every single moment of the inspection is a chance for you to show them you're in control. Be their guide. Escort them everywhere. Keep your own log of everything they look at, everything they ask for. And hey, if they find some small minor thing, fix it right then and there. It shows you're committed to quality. And at the end of each day, get the team together, debrief, and plan for tomorrow. This isn't just about passing, it's about showing them you're excellent.
Okay, so after all the tours and document reviews, the whole thing wraps up with what's called the exit interview. This is where the inspector is going to sit down and talk about what they found. And they might issue a very important document called a Form 483.
So what is a Form 483? It's basically a list of inspectional observations. In other words, things the inspector saw that might be violations. Now, the super important thing to remember here is that this is not a final verdict. It's not like you've been found guilty. Think of it more as a feedback report. And how you respond to it, that's the next critical move. When you get to that exit interview, your number one goal is clarity. That's it. Make sure senior management is in the room. Your job is to listen, take amazing notes, and ask questions until you understand every single point. Do not guess. Now, this isn't the time to get into a big argument, but if they state something that's just factually wrong and you've got the documents to prove it right there, it's okay to calmly present that information.
So, the inspector has left the building. Phew, you'd think it's over, right? Nope. In fact, some of the most important work is just getting started. Let's talk about the post-inspection process.
What you do next is every bit as important as what you did during the audit. First, get a comprehensive report out to your own senior management. Then the real clock starts ticking. If you got a 483, you generally have only about 10 working days to get a formal written response back to the FDA. And while you're doing that, there's one more document you should be asking for.
And that document is the Establishment Inspection Report, or the EIR. Here's the difference. The Form 483 is like the bullet point list of issues. The EIR, that's the whole story. It's the inspector's narrative report. Getting a copy of this is gold because it helps you understand why they noted those things, which is just invaluable for getting better and preparing for the next time.
Okay, we've covered mindset, the pre-inspection playbook, how to handle the inspection itself, and what to do after. So what's the big takeaway here? What does this all boil down to?
It's this: an FDA inspection really doesn't have to be a nightmare. It can just be a process, a manageable one, maybe even a productive one. It all comes down to making a cultural shift from being reactive and full of fear to being proactive and in a state of constant readiness.
And that really leaves us with one final question to think about. Your plan can be perfect, your SOPs can be flawless, but is your team ready? Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to the people, their training, their mindset, and how confident they are in the plan that you've all built together.